Please join me in welcoming Glorya Kaufman.
Thank you, Julia. We are very fortunate to have Julia as our dean. She has done so much and has took over a big job, and she's doing great. And I also want to thank our Jackie, and I want to thank our assistant dean. And he has been unbelievable, and there he is right there. And he seems to keep everything together, and we're so fortunate to have him. That's all you have to do is call him and say, Patrick, I need, I have, I got, and he's there. Thank you, Patrick. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a joy to be with my 5th graduating class. This is our 3rd outside graduation because of the pandemic, and it's so wonderful to see you all. I just love to see the happy faces. Welcome. Each student has a unique story about their journey to become a dancer. I also have a journey that brought me to this special day. I took my first dance steps, it makes me cry, standing on my dad's toes.
Oh, I love it.
Later, as a young woman, I visited where I came from Detroit, Michigan, where they had the black and tan clubs. That was the beginning of jazz. And in Detroit, it was called Motown. And a lot of things changed in the 40s and the 50s. And the cultures mingled, and there was new and expressive ways because of the jazz and Motown music.
Right.
Right? Along the way, I learned an important fact about dance. It is an evolving art that is built upon freedom, loving spirit from within. Dance is always evolving, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. I believe each of you, my students, as dancers, was born to be an important change agent, whether you know it or not. It's going to happen. If any of you have seen the Broadway show called The Chorus Line, there was a heroine called Cassie, and she struggled with the fact that her unique creativity deprived her of being in the front row of a chorus line. But her individualism and her creativity that made her stand out was the problem. And I believe that Cassie embodies the same qualities of individual creativity and expression that defines the graduates we have here today. None of you are destined to be in the back of a chorus line. As the Judson Memorial Church in New York during the 40s and 50s, there was the great Merce Cunningham, a choreographer who introduced modern dance and changed the art form for all time with his life companion and composer John Cage. Merce is considered one of the most influential choreographers of the 20th century. He was multi-talented. He was a dance maker, a fierce collaborator, a chance taker, an artist, an innovator, a film producer, and a teacher. One Sunday afternoon, Merce and some of their friends came to my home for brunch. And after brunch, we went for a walk. I had a small lake with mallard ducks and lotus flowers and water lilies that happily floated on the surface. And Merce was completely charmed by what he saw. And he asked if he could return someday soon and sketch the scene. I, of course, was thrilled, and I said, of course you can come back. So he had a very busy schedule, so he came back the next day, and he returned prepared to draw and sat by the lake, and he proceeded to sketch for several hours. Later that year, or it could have been even later, he wrote had a children's book, and he had the illustrations of the flowers and the ducks and everything, and he sent it to me, and oh my goodness, I was very, very touched. I still have it. It was beautiful. And Alistair Macaulay, it was a famous dance critic for the New York Times at that time, and he wrote about Merce, and he said, quote, "Modern dance at that time was about emotion. You were asked to be either sad or happy." But Merce didn't see it that way. Merce's teaching and his work was more in line with abstract in the art. It completely changed the aesthetics and the taste of dance at that time. Merce's 7 decades career was distinguished by constant innovation in which he expanded the frontiers of visual art and performing art and music. He developed the Cunningham technique, which emphasizes clarity of form, coordination of the torso, legwork, and spatial awareness. At that time, this was quite radical, but also exhilarating, both also for performers and for the audience. So why do I hold Merce Cunningham up to you today to mirror, for you to examine? I believe each of you has been given unique skills at the Kaufman School of Dance that are invaluable tools that will allow you to pursue your own creative spirit. You have not been trained to be a puppet on a string or a dancer in the back row of a chorus line. The Kaufman School has empowered you to follow your own creative path forward and embellish it with extraordinary talent. We expect nothing less from you, from all of you. Seek out challenge and turn them into opportunities. See your creativity as something to share with the world, like Merce Cunningham. Don't hesitate to bring forward new creative forms of expression to help open up the new ideas to the new world of dance. I believe in all of you. As someone who knew Merce Cunningham, I see the same fire in your eyes and desire to expand your craft that you have. I wish you all good luck. Congratulations.